keep up with all of these changes on a regular basis.
Making sure we're always in sync with the technology that's changing, with the consumer behavior that's changing, with the new players.
I think it's about keeping focus on what are your core competencies and what is it you want to be really good at. And that means knowing what are the consumer trends, what are the traveler trends, are people moving more toward mobile or social?
What we are focused on every day is to basically push our direct channels more and more and to connect with as many customers as we can directly.
The problem with rate parity to me and the fact that hoteliers are complaining about OTAs in general, my opinion is that it's because hoteliers are not capable of managing their distribution ecosystem at the moment. It adds transparency, it adds many markets, and in fact, maybe it is a cheaper marketing effort for them than more, let's say, traditional one.
We are a global technology marketing platform for hotels. It's always important to have a balanced distribution channel because I know that in order to go get those customers, I would need to do the brand investments, the web investments. You have a lot of countries where there are new payment types, so there are installment payments which aren't very easy to crack. We spend $500 million a year getting the technology platform, over $1.5 billion a year on marketing to develop those markets all across the world. And so I think even if there are industry associations that talk about rate parity, you talk to hotels who are smart about the way they manage their distribution, and they understand that they can use OTAs to play different booking windows, to play different sort of geography.
You need to do your marketing. You need to be better at being transparent, providing trust to your guests. You need to be able to show your best assets. You need to be able to understand the consumer needs. There's a global training that is actually being forced by those new players, which is go back to marketing 101 and say, who are you talking to? Players like us, but certainly like you as well, have realized that actually to be able to compete in this industry, you have to have the best website. You have to be you provide trust and transparency to your consumers. You have to be able to have a very clear understanding of your data to be able to extract the value of each consumer. Saying that was not the case, 4, 5, 6 years ago.
The level of understanding of not only OTAs but distribution in general, as you go down the chain scale, especially to independents and smaller hotels, is all over the place. I think if I give a rating from 0 to 10, it varies from 5, 4 to -1. The cost of distribution for smaller independent hotels is quite high, and that's something that they have to negotiate with the OTAs. They need to understand things like billboard effect and how exactly are they bringing value to the business.
In every industry, there's distribution that's going direct, there's distribution that's through third parties, and in some ways, whether or not something is written in the contract, I think the market equilibrium probably actually is rate parity.
What are your thoughts in regards to Google Hotel Finder? And the second one is, does Google Travel represent a threat for particularly the Expedia business model?
We have a very deep relationship with Google. And yet, as I was saying earlier, we also compete with them. They have Hotel Finder. And I think the things that they're doing are innovative, and it's just going to push us to continue to be more innovative. It's natural that, OTAs are going to be looking at ways to get loyal customers. It's straight economics, right? If you think about the way you get customers to come to your site, some of it is through SEM, which is bidding. Some of it is through repeat customers, and repeat customers, you pay for it the first time you get them, and then after that the cost goes down. And actually the cost then is these loyalty programs. So I think it's almost like any other industry.
Why people go on Google? Because it's easy, it's convenient, it's simple. So that just tells us that we need to be easy, convenient, and simple when we do a website. Why is Google a threat? Because Google is moving mobile big time. Well, interesting news. It means that we have to move very quickly to the mobile thing. Today mobile is 20% of our bookings. It was almost 0 3 years ago.
The traditional Google paid search cost has been increasing quite quickly. In the last 2 years, it's gone up by nearly 25-30%. So if your marketing budget is a few million euros, for the same amount of money, you're actually getting 25-30% less traffic, which forces us as hoteliers to basically test new models, and Hotel Finder could be one of them. And developing these type of pipes with every channel that comes on board. It's a big investment on our side to build connectivity with Trivago or with TripAdvisor, Meta Search, and with Google Hotel Finder. It takes time. And then these companies basically change their connectivity formats, on a dime because they can do it. They're huge companies.
What are your perspectives for improving this experience, and what about payment options?
Mobile is definitely something which is extremely interesting for us because it's literally you move from 0% of our business to 20% today, and we see it growing almost every month. Mobile as a platform is a really different platform because the conversion rate is different, but also the opportunity to actually geolocalize the guest that we could not do before is a new opportunity for us in terms of actually providing better service. All this getting blurred actually means for the organization like us, we need to think differently about how we merge operations and marketing into one single provider of the best possible guest experience.
Specific to the hotel industry, we're always late in adopting technology and we're always slow movers. But in the last few years, I think we've at least taken a significant amount of our capex investment and invested in mobile sites and mobile apps. So that seems to be paying off very quickly. I mean, even right now for our type of hotels, we are doing more than €1 million a month just from mobile platforms. And we saw that nearly 25% of our customers were shopping our websites from mobile platforms. And the revenue we were getting from our traditional mobile app was 2%. Something was wrong. So we invested a lot in this, and now the share continues to grow exponentially.
The point about it often being last-minute bookings that happen on mobile, it's actually a really good opportunity for hotels to revenue manage. So the mobile is also a really good way to fill last-minute gaps.
What you need to do is understand what your pickup is, what is your pricing compared to ComSet, and what are the customers saying for you. I mean, if you just include those elements, you can actually develop a pricing strategy which will be 90% accurate without investing a huge amount of time.
Big data utilization and the way the industry is actually prepared or not, or actually doing it or not, and what kind of priorities should be made in the industry from the OTA standpoint, but also from destination standpoints or hotel standpoint.
The analytics teams are very big teams. I mean, you've got the technology teams, the sales and marketing teams. The analytics is a huge team, and these guys are crunching numbers and they're trying to understand what are the travelers' trends. If you're doing SEM bidding, you need to make sure that you understand where is the traffic coming from, what are the keywords you need to bid on, and you think about all of the destinations there are around the world, mine your own data, but then what Expedia and other OTAs can also help with is saying, actually, this is what your comp set is doing, and this is where travelers from around the world are coming for your comp set. This is what they're doing on pricing. Obviously, without naming specific hotels, but that also can give you additional insight. It's all part of the overall OTA value proposition, and I think that as hotels who understand that overall value proposition are typically pretty happy with the relationship.
So are you planning on using some of that mining effort to actually enhance guest experience inside the hotels?
I think that's exactly the point. We look at it as a way to improve recommendations on our website. So, and also in the park. Where we're touching now is actually to improve the product itself. That's the beauty of big data. That is, big data is about finding correlation that you could not have thought about. It actually forces you to think beyond your traditional scope into area that you haven't thought about before.
How is social media affecting the distribution system in the industry?
So we use social media to actually collect information about what the guest needs, and we have about 2 million followers, for instance, on Facebook, and improve our product based on that.
So a big round of applause to our panel on e-commerce distribution.